Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Brandon Berg. Right now, I'm kind of driving right now, um, so this is right now what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of driving right now, heading back into Texas. I just wanted to jump in here a little bit, man. Just really want to get back into my fun facts of history, man. I really want to just shed some light. Lately I've been covering, the Underground Railroad. I've been also covering the Sioux Nation, like the Wakanda origin. I was talking about Sitting Bull and Red Cloud. Now Sitting Bull, a lot of people should be aware of Sitting Bull. He during the Great Sioux War, I think 1876, around the plains, the Dakota areas, Montana, Dakota, some parts of Wyoming, in that area. They're pretty much like the Black Hills area region. A lot of people know about Sitting Bull, but a lot of people really don't know too much about Red Cloud. And Red Cloud he was actually a very key, prominent leader of the Sioux people. He was actually, if I remember, I think his tribe was Oglala Lakotas. That was his mother's tribe. But he was one of the most forced, most feared opponent of the United States at the time during the mid 1800s and stuff, man. He actually he had, if I think so, he had a 2-year campaign against the government, basically named after him, called the Red Cloud War. Really successful, man. He won a couple battles. He was actually part of the Battle of Little Bighorn. He was also involved in the Fitman fight. That was a very important battle as well. And man, I mean, he was a rider, man. I mean, he ride. I mean, he basically was like fighting against fighting the government that was pretty much was taking land that wasn't there and killing their people and forcing their people to basically on a little a plot of land that is almost like a land prison, if you want to look like that. I mean, I look at a reservation like land prison. You can't really go nowhere. You can't really acquire land for yourself. You're kind of like put in the box. And if you go to some of those areas of reservations, and I've been to a lot of them. I've been to a lot of reservations. I'm not really going to say the Oklahoma. I mean, that was a designated, but that Oklahoma was more for the 5 civilized tribes. I could talk more about them, but I'll leave that for another discussion. But Oklahoma was more for those 5 civilized tribes out of the Appalachian region. But the Sioux was pretty much they kind of hold that the Great Plains. And Red Cloud was, man, very, very opposed to that, man. In his what he felt, nobody should not own land. If you do, you have hereditary custom rights of land because this is your people's land. I mean, it's land that you can use but nobody don't really own the land. But if you're going to take about owning the land, my people been on here for millenniums. We've been there for several thousand years. You guys just got here a few centuries. So I understand Red Cloud plight into it. And I ain't gonna say he fought very hard, man. Very, very hard. Very charismatic. Um, very important, prominent figure in not just Sioux Nation's culture, but the entire indigenous American culture and people. You know what I'm saying? So, um, they finally forced them to. They actually finally forced them. After doing these raids and the war, he was forced to go to. Forced onto the reservations and stuff. Um, but he also was still fighting even during the reservation that he was in. He was still fighting for land rights. He was fighting for qualities for education. He was fighting for equal right, even equal pay. A lot of Native Americans they were very treated very horrible. Native Americans, in the eye of a lot of colonists and settlers at that time, they viewed them as no more than savages and uncivilized people. So they viewed them as kind of like animals. They put them in the same box with as the African people coming in from the slave ship. So you gotta understand, and also too, the Native Americans, that was a genocide. That was the American genocide. Now I will also say that was the first racial genocide, and I think the slaves, Africans, or you like to say category in the racial term, the Americans says black people, that was the second genocide. You know what I'm saying? You had over close to 10 million Native Americans getting wiped out, and you had probably well over from the slave ships just going to the States, and you probably had a lot of slaves that was getting killed during their enslavement. You probably had maybe about 10 million slaves perished from slavery. So you had two mass genocides killings from the same group of people. But yeah, Red Cloud was very prominent, man. Did a lot of things. Fought, fought when he could fight, man. He fought all the way to his old age. Actually, there was a quote, and before he ended up passing. I think he passed like if I'm mistaken, I think he passed like 1909. But yeah, he was very old. He was like almost close to. I would say he was like about 90 years old. But I would say the greatest quote he actually put it forth, and you can actually Google this, and it's actually on Google, whatever type of site. He made this reference quote. He said, they made many promises, more than I can remember. But one promise that they kept, and they said they would take the land, and they took it. Now that was a very symbolic message. That was for his people, and that was probably for other people that's interconnected or outer connected. But it was toward people of oppressed people. That message was basically to any oppressed group that lived in this country. that the the white man just cannot be trusted. He said you can, if you keep believing them, they're going to trust you. They're going to. It's like a woman. You know, you keep, or it's like you keep taking back an abuser or a liar, and they just keep breaking your heart. Till one day, it's going to be so detrimental to you. It's going to end up destroying you. And that's what the quote in those words he was saying before he passed. That that he was talking about towards the white people, the white man. So that's pretty much the gist with it. I mean, he was very prominent, very successful, very very courageous guy. Loved his people, loved his land, fought hard for his land. Sitting Bull was another pioneer. He was actually a holy man. His, you know, Red Bull was, I think, Red Cloud. His real name was Maya Jaya Laluta. That was like his real name. But you know, but in his story, and just for pretty much a reference, Red Cloud is the name that everybody kind of know him by. But like I said, man, he was he's a great man, great fighter, man. Almost like Geronimo, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you had a lot of native people, man, fighting white supremacy, man. They fighting for their land. And there were back at a time, there was a Native American, African relationship and almost like an alliance form. You had many Native Americans taken in escaped slaves, runaway slaves. That's where the word maroon come from. If you want to say maroon, that's where the name Seminoles come from. Was basically runaway. So I mean, you had a lot of alliances between the real indigenous and the Black Americans at the time, especially during when blacks were descendants of African slaves at the time. This lets you know how brutal white supremacy is. You know what I'm saying? And how big and how well dedicated white supremacy is. It's not just it's not an individual thing. This is a collective thing. I know sometimes I'm not saying all white people is racist. I'm not gonna say that, but there's a lot of biases in the psyche of it. You know what I'm saying? I've been, like I said, I've been really, dabbing more into the European psyche a little bit, and to see what has transpired, and it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that transpired, but they have that Nortonism, and that's an ideology. That's an ideology that a lot of people really don't discuss, and that goes in the realm of scientific racism that's still used today. It was used during the colonization of the Americas, in Africa, in Australia, and even certain parts of Asia, and it's still used to this day. So, and I'll get more into that as well, maybe in another video or another share. But I definitely want to talk more about the Sioux culture. Like I said a little bit later about Wakanda, that is basically it's a god. It's part of a belief system of the Sioux and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Very powerful in their culture, the Sioux culture, but also a very very interconnected just of indigenous Americans. And but yeah, man, just the thing about Red Cloud was his life is very, very, very intriguing. Very brave guy, man. Dude, he put in a lot of work, Fighter to the day he died. You know what I'm saying? And I tip my hat. I wish, there's some Native American activists that doing their thing, and hopefully, hopefully there's more that can take that mantle, like a Red Cloud or a Sitting Bull or a Geronimo or a few other people that really took that fight to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll probably, like I said, follow me on Instagram, Big Bird, and I definitely get more into the Native people. Actually, I've been really focused for some reason on the Sioux, because that's an unspoken. Um, from all the stories of the West, that's that's like kind of like the black. That's like the black eye of American military, because the Sioux was giving them hell, and just like the Seminoles at first, they were giving the United States hell for 7 years. The Seminole Wars, I'm definitely going. We'll be talking about that soon as well. It was a lot of Native Americans, man, giving fits to white supremacy at that time. But like I said, it's very unspoken for some reason. That part of the chapter, when you talk about the West, they rarely really talk about the Sioux. Um, it was a lot of other tribes that was also in the play of that war as well. But they really don't talk about that. They don't really talk about the Great Sioux War. Um, it was more about gold, because I know they found gold in those territories that was pretty much Indian land. Native American land, Sioux land, Cheyenne, a lot of different tribes and nations was in there. Um, that they were trying to take. So it was a collective. It was a lot of tribes joining together, and they were fighting the white supremacy to keep their land, keep their tradition, keep their culture intact without being shattered. Because back in the day, white men they don't really come with, they come with a smile, but they got a knife to really stab you in the back. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be very cautious. They don't really come to be coexisting with you. They normally just come to dominate. And that's one thing I think they realize, that they came to dominate. That's why they fight. So I definitely show a lot of respect to them on that. But yeah, I'm gonna probably drop another history video. I want to shine more light to Sitting Bull. I know I could talk about Sitting Bull. I could. There should be no problem with it. But I really don't want to go too far in the video right now. But I'll probably make another video about Sitting Bull, and I'll talk a little bit more um, about the more of the lines at that time with the Native Americans and the Africans, African slaves, white American black. So I'll probably talk about that in the next video. But yeah, man, like I said, I'll probably um, might put a link in the bottom. You guys can really take a look at Red Cloud and his life and stuff. And it's really amazing about his life, man. Real, very big activist, man. Very big, huge fighter against white supremacy. So, like I said, man, just put a comment in the bottom. Hit the likes. Follow me at Big Bird Instagram. You can also follow me, Brendan Scurry on Facebook if you want. And we're gonna keep it rolling, right? One.